It was a typical summer day in the mountain village where the Geller family lived. Mr. Geller was up early, tending to his small farm while his wife, Mrs. Geller, prepared breakfast for their children. The family sat together at the table, enjoying a meal of rice and vegetables, and discussing their plans for the day. After breakfast, the family cleaned their garden, tending to their plants and enjoying the fresh mountain air. Mr. Geller pruned the bushes and tended to the fruit trees, while Mrs. Geller pulled weeds and planted new seedlings. The children helped out by watering the plants and collecting ripe vegetables. However, their peaceful day turned into a nightmare when a severe storm hit the village. The heavy rain and strong winds caused flooding in the area, and the Gellers' home was surrounded by water. They found themselves trapped inside, unable to leave or contact anyone for help. After the disaster, the people in the village were in shock and struggled to come to terms with what had happened. Many families had lost their homes, and several people had suffered injuries. When the disaster hit, things got real bad, real fast. The storm messed up the roads real bad, making it impossible for anyone to leave or come into the village. And to make things worse, communication lines were down, so people were cut off from the outside world. They couldn't call for help or reach out to family and friends to let them know they were okay. Being stuck like that was tough. People were struggling to find enough food and water to survive, and medical supplies were running low. There were some real sick folks who needed help, but they couldn't get to a hospital because of the roadblocks. It was scary not knowing what was going on outside of the village, and everyone was on edge, wondering how long they'd be trapped there. After the disaster, several people in the village fell ill due to the unsanitary conditions and lack of medical facilities. There were cases of stomach infections, skin rashes, and respiratory problems, among others. With no access to doctors or medicine, the people had to rely on home remedies and traditional cures to survive. Weeks passed before communication and transportation were restored. They were relieved to access modern medicine again. However, they also had a newfound appreciation for the value of traditional home remedies, which had helped them through the difficult time of being trapped in the village.
So basically, this story is a reminder that no matter how fancy and modern our lives get, nature can still come along and mess things up real quick. Disasters can hit out of nowhere and leave us stranded without help or resources. But the cool thing is, people are pretty darn clever and can figure out how to survive even when things are super tough. This story shows us that by working together and using our smarts, we can make it through just about anything. And it also reminds us of the importance of being aware of home remedies, because sometimes modern medicine just isn't an option. And knowing a few home remedies can really come in handy in a pinch.